Well, got the motor mounted, belt installed, got plugged in over here, and it's running without an issue. I'm cutting it kind of close right there, so I should be fine. Hey guys, welcome back. So I am going to be working on making a new stand. I want to make it a combo stand. I decided officially, and what I'm going to do is, with the help of Bubba J here, I want to take this scroll saw. Do what?
Who are you?
Bubba. I want to take the scroll saw and electric motor off of here, along with this box and switch, and if I want to use that for this on that stand, and have some other stuff set up over here I gotta use for it. And I'm also going to take my belt sander here, belt and rotary sander, Harbor Freight, and put it on there as well. And I'm actually going to reuse the material that I have here, which is why I'm wanting to go ahead and put that on there as well. That way I can reuse what I already have and be able to put it on there. I'll put both of them on, put that, the sander, and the scroll saw on that stand to kind of compact it. Give me more room here, because I'm already running out of room. And that I want to make I'll end up putting the motor down below, and excuse me, and that way I'll still be able to make it compact. And my shop isn't the largest, so having two things on one is going to help out quite a bit on room or space just in general. So I'm going to go about the way I'll show you how I'm going to go about doing this. It's going to be a kind of a simple setup, and nothing too terribly fancy. So this scroll saw, though, I plan on at some point, it's a little power craft, as you can see there. It's it's an older model. I plan on completely refurbishing this, or almost completely refurbishing it. This thing now is wanting to bind up inside the gearbox here, so I end up getting re-greased. I plan on sanding it down, giving it a fresh paint, getting the deck cleaned up, and it'll be the start of my equipment refurbishing. Because I got I got my table saw here that's really just an extra catch-all if I'm going to be honest, and I got a lot of work on this I need to do or want to do. I got some belts and I got to deal with here. The bandsaw over there, the drill press, the old Craftsman drill press, and the Ryobi planer here. To get this stuff back up to par and functioning well and looking nice and everything. And heck, this Ryobi, I mean buttons still work. Heck, the freaking cable is in terrible condition. I'll have to end up getting a new cable for it and all that. So it's, like I said, it'll be the start of the equipment refurbishing. It'll take me a little while because I gotta have the money to do it all, and it'll just take time, so you have to bear with me. So I want to go ahead and get started on this and see how well it turns out. Alright, so got the motor off, got the scroll saw off, as you can see. And I already got the switch off over there. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Got the switch off already in the box. I got some finagling I gotta do in here, because I had bypassed this outlet, kind of, because this one was actually running off the switch that the motor was hooked up to. And so I'm going to put this back to normal, and I want to keep this cable and use it on the build, and along with this other connector. It's actually a Romex connector. I'm using it as a cable connector. Oh well, I'm cheap. Get over it. So I got that to do, and then I'll be off to that. All right, now on to the belt sander. Now I got lag bolts holding this down. There are only 3 here. I got one there, and there. Then I got lag bolts running through these, and I gotta take all those off. And remember how all this dismembered and everything. So I'll go ahead and get started on this, and then start building the platform for this. So I got the legs together and the main base, and now I need to work on the top. I laid it out a little bit differently than what I was wanting to do. I was wanting to member across here so I can run backwards from the face to the back for the scroll saw up top, but I just wasn't going to work out because I needed something to go across the back, and lack of material, I needed something. And yes, it's a little bit wobbly, but I don't know if that's the concrete or my craftsmanship in that manner is just piss poor. So, dealing with what I got, I want to make it work, and next spot is I'll probably end up running across the bottom and then start working with the top. so got the tops done up, I'll put on. Got the belt sander sitting on here. You can see how it's, I decided to go ahead and go with the 2x10, I think is what this is. I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to lag bolting in. And this side, I'm gonna have to, whenever I get this out, get the scroll saw on, I'm gonna have to figure out exactly where I want the slot and be able to drop it down. I'll cut out the notch to run the motor down there, and hopefully that's where it's going to be, because I'm going to have to make the adjustments there. So I'm going to have to make sure that I line up the scroll saw to the tabletop and go to the lower level and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up, mounted, and start working on the scroll saw. So I was sitting here kind of getting started on the scroll saw here, and I just realized I almost gave myself enough room up here to do it all up here, but I'm still not quite enough room. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and figure this on up here and go from there. So I gotta make sure that the bolt holes on the motor are still gonna be able to mount on the board down here and still be able to carry on with the pulley. So that's what I'm doing now, is mimicking up how this is up here, how this is going to line out to go ahead and get the scroll saw in place, and then figure out the angle where I need to go to be able to start cutting holes to run the belt down below. Alright, so the scroll saw is mounted up here finally, and I'm trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to do this. I've never done it like this before, so I'm thinking that's going to be about where the motor is going to be sitting, this way. So I'm trying to figure out I'm afraid I might have to put in some more extra bracing here, because I'm afraid it's gonna take most of this piece right here, most of this cutout. So I think I'm gonna have to put in some extra bracing across the bottom of this. So I'm just gonna have to find out. I am gonna go ahead and run a hole through here. I'll probably go ahead and do halfway here. See what that gets me with the belt that I currently have. Hopefully that's gonna work, but if I come back here and start here and cut out here, that's gonna be too much of a it's not gonna be steep enough to go down to the motor. So I'm thinking somewhere in here is where it's gonna go. Well, got the motor mounted, belt installed, got plugged in over here. And it's running without an issue. I'm cutting it kind of close right there. So I should be fine. And I may have made the hole a little bit too big, but it is what it is. It's fine. So, I'm trying to get this unplugged here. Now, I'm debating on whether or not to finish this. But it's nearly 9 o'clock now. Depending on whether or not to finish this tonight or wait till tomorrow. So this is where I'm at now. So I may go ahead and finish this. I don't know. Oh well. Now I just gotta figure out. I think I'm gonna mount the switch here and run the cord up here, way up in here on this rail, and back to an outlet, and have the belt sander hooked up to it as well. So we'll go ahead and go from there. Alright, so I am to the point to where I'm going to be doing up the outlet, and it's going to be a little bit tricky. I've got the wires for the switch coming in, plus the power coming in, but I want the switch to only run one of these duplexes. So this is where it gets tricky. Now on these outlets, they've got a little tab in here that you can cut, and it will separate the two of the duplex. So that way it'll be just one being controlled. Now, I'm also going to be doing something else that's a little bit funky, but it's common to me because I do it when I can. And it's called a switch leg. So I only run one 3-wire from the switch to the outlet, and I run my power, my incoming power on the white wire, and my outgoing power on the black, and hook the black to the outlet itself and not the switch. That way people don't get mixed up on that. So that's what the switch leg is. And that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm trying to explain it a little bit to you, so that way you guys know what's going on here. So breaking the tabs and doing a switch leg here. So like I said, the switch leg, I'll be taking the black and white to the switch, the white to the switch, tying it to the black from the power, and taking the black from the switch to the receptacle. Make sense? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, hey. Looks kind of like a cluster back here, but I got all the cables ran nicely and Got it ran up underneath there on both sides from the switch and the motor. I got the belt sander cable ran down into here, down below, and looped right here. Got the power cable coming out, and you know what's next. We'll try it out. So, see if anything goes kablooey. So, let me get over here. And
we don't really take a break to like sit down and like have a lunch break.
Nothing. All right. So that kicked on just fine, like it's supposed to. All right. Now what about this? I don't know what that extra noise is, but that's working like it's supposed to. Switch and all. So I say, I say it works, Bubba.
Yeah.
So that's what this thing is. And oh man, get this out of the way. So yeah, this thing works pretty nicely. Alright, so I'm sure I look like a freaking mess right now. So I gotta get inside. I did decide to go ahead and finish it up tonight. I just wanted to get it done. So I'll have to go in and get the video verse going and all here in a minute. But this is one of the times it pays to be a jack of all trades. I know I'm not professional on any of this except for the electrical. I've actually got a degree in electrical technology through Pitt State. But that's the only thing that I'm professional at. Well, professional. But I've learned all this other stuff by trial and error and being taught by other people. So being a jack of all trades is a good thing, guys. So don't shy away from learning new things. Don't ever shy away. If you learn, what I always say is if you don't learn anything new every day, then you're going to end up not living after that. I mean, that's the way I see it. Because every day there should always strive to learn something new, even if it's just something small. I mean, like giraffes have stripes, or zebras are black and white. I mean, learn something new every day, guys, because eventually it will end up paying in the long run. So that's that's how I get where I'm at now, because I've learned and learned and learned from people, and I've never shied away from learning. And over time, I wound up being able to weld rather okay. I mean, if I had a better rig, I definitely would be able to. I'm able to work with wood for the most part. I mean, my stuff doesn't look nice, but it works. Leather work, it's not the nicest, but it works. And mechanical items, it works. I'm able to get things running. I'm able to repair things, replace parts, and just constantly learning, guys. Just constantly learn. So, enough of me talking. I'm going to go ahead and run in and, well, shut down. I'll probably end up picking up tomorrow. I'm going to shut down for tonight because it is 10 till 9 right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and shut down and do the video verse and call it a night. So, hopefully this video will be up here in a few days. And be able to, I think I'm going to do a couple more here over the next week. So stick around. Alright, so I had completely forgotten to do the video verse last night before I actually finished wrapping up. So, continuing on in Jude, and we're doing verses 5 through 11. It says, "Now I want to remind you, although you came to know all these things once and for all, that Jesus saved a people out of Egypt, and later destroyed those who did not believe, and the angels who did not keep their own position, but abandoned their proper dwelling. He has kept in eternal chains and deep darkness for the judgment of the great day. Likewise, Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding towns committed sexual immorality and perversions, and serve as an example by undergoing the punishment of eternal fire. In the same way, these people, relying on their dreams, defile their flesh, reject authority, and slander glorious ones. Yet when Michael, the archangel, was disputing with the devil in an argument about Moses' body, he did not dare utter a slanderous condemnation against him, but said, 'The Lord rebuke you.' But these people blaspheme anything they do not understand, and what they do understand by instinct, like irrational animals. By these things they are destroyed. Woe to them, for they have gone the way of Cain, have plunged into Balaam's error for profit, and have perished in Korah's rebellion." And that is Jude 5 through 11. And I'll see you guys in the next one.